Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so what we're gonna do today is help show you how to fill out either a home buyer or home seller transaction summary. So once you've received your Canva link, you're gonna go ahead and open up the link and you'll have a screen that looks somewhat like that. And then it will open up your template. And I've got Julie here with me who is learning how to use this for the first time. So she will be asking questions as needed. Julie, feel free to jump in at any moment.
Thank you.
And it might be delayed here just a sec while we. Okay. Julie, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. So each, for the transaction summary, as you see, as I'm selecting these, each text box area is editable. And so you want to be careful if you, let's say, clicked here and then kind of moved it by accident. You can undo that by selecting Control Z. So in the same way you do Control Z, which means undo for a PC or a Mac, you can also do that in Canva, which is super convenient. The other thing that's important to know is you can do the same right click with your mouse to do copy, paste, duplicate, all kinds of different, steps here as well. So know that you can do that well, and that's very similar. So I'm going to do a little bit of just kind of showing you what is the components of Canva. And so when you receive your template, if I've done a customization for you, you may have a logo here, or you may not. Maybe you didn't do customization and you want to know how to exchange this Windermere logo for your own logo. So you're going to go to uploads here, and then you can add any logo that you want. I'm not going to go into a more advanced place where you can set up a brand hub. That'll be a different recording and you can learn how to do that. But let's say you just want to switch out this Windermere W for a different logo. And I'm just going to grab this one here. And you literally can drag and drop and place it right in there. Okay. So let's say you've added a logo here, but it's really small, so you want to make it bigger. So again, you can just kind of drag and drop and make that happen. Now, for some reason on this logo, there is actually kind of a weird line, if you see that there. And so I'm going to crop that out. And to crop, all you have to do is just grab these bars to move them around. Okay. So that's your sort of first step for customizing this in a way that you would like. Okay. Let's say for whatever reason you want to change the color. So you just select on and then you select a different color. Let's say you want it to be gray. Okay. So you can do that. Let's say that you want this to be bright blue. So you can change that as well. Okay. So each one of these is editable. And so the easiest way to fill this out is, okay, and I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here. Okay. So in this way, you can select on the seller's name. Now, what you can do is triple click. Okay. So triple click with your mouse. It'll select everything. And then you're going to type in the name. So the seller is Jane Smith. Okay. The buyer is John Doe. Okay. Purchase price. Let's say it is. Now, another trick that I really like is Control A, and that's select all. So again, same shortcut that you would use on your laptop, like a PC or a Mac, you can actually use that in Canva too. So let's say this is $9.95. The only thing that you can't do is tab through, like you could in other programs. Okay, let's say earnest money is $30,000. Mutual acceptance date was 8/13/23. Closing date is 9/23/23. Possession date same, 9/23/23. So does that make sense that you're just selecting each one of these and changing the information?
Yes.
Great. Okay. We have this little section and it's notes. Okay. So like I put it here, seller to pay 8,500. towards closing, towards buyer's closing costs. Now, let's say that we want to add more notes. Seller to leave the fridge in the garage. Check to make sure it's there at closing. Okay, so you have
Mhm.
room for 2 there. Now, let's say buyer is going to I don't know, rent back for 5, or seller is going to rent back for 5. Sorry, yeah, okay. So we'll say seller is going to back for 5 days. Okay. So
Mhm.
now we have 3 lines there, and this is actually getting below this gray line. So you could do a couple things. One, if it was me, I'd make it super easy. I'd select on the line and just delete it. Okay, you don't need it. Another option you could do is select all and make this a smaller note, and then there it's now all fitting there. So there's different things that you can do in order to get that fit if you feel like that's what you need to do.
Sure.
Okay. Great. So then on here, this is all a column. So then earnest money due to escrow. And let's say we have 8/15/23. Okay. Earnest money release to seller, seller disclosure right to rescind. And you could say that's just the standard 10 days, or let's see, so that would be 8/23/23. So you can go down and fill these out. Okay.
Sure.
These are a little bit smaller here. Appraisal completed and received approximately 10 days after mutual. You may, this one you could put a specific date just as like a reminder to say, okay, this, I need to do this on by the 25th, let's say. So if I'm going to change this font is small so that it can all fit in there. And I'm going to say, okay, I want to do 8/25/23. Okay. So it's super small. The easiest thing you can do here is anytime that you want this style to be the same as this little teeny font, you can copy style. And then once you get that little painter roller thing, click on it and it's the exact same.
Are you just right clicking when you did the copy style?
So I'm right clicking copy style. And then once it's highlighting the other text box, I'm pasting. This is the same style already.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
let's see, let's just
Okay.
make this like super small. Okay. So I can copy style. It will copy over the size, the color, and also the line count in between where it says 8/15/23 and then NA. That is let's see, this has a line spacing of 1.5. So it'll copy the line spacing as well. And this is a good point. Let's say that for some reason you want to actually change the line spacing or the distance of the characters. So you can collect on this sandwich with the arrows. You could do letter spacing and you want it to be broader. So you can increase or decrease that in any way. You can increase the distance between here as well. So that's another kind of good tool to be aware of. Okay.
Nice. Yes.
So you're going to enter in all the dates here for everything that needs to happen. And then the check marks are an element. So an element is all these components on the left-hand side over there. So let's say you don't like that check mark and you want a different kind of check mark. So you type in check mark. Okay. Let's say you actually really like this one instead. Okay. So I'm going to take this. It comes in really big. I'm going to make it smaller. Okay. And you're like, okay, I really like this check mark. However, color obviously doesn't work for my theme here. So it's a little hard because let's see. When I zoom it, yeah. Okay. So you're like, I don't like the color. So you see up here in the left-hand corner, right now the color is green and white.
Right.
So I'm going to change that and say, nope, I want that blue.
How did you switch over to that?
So all you do is select on it, the
Well,
item.
no, I mean,
oh, sorry.
it was on the green. I don't know how you opened up that box that shows the other colors.
Okay. So do you see the green check mark?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to click on it. And then in the upper left-hand corner, automatically it's showing me the colors that it's currently
Right.
on. So I'm going to select the green because we're going to change the green.
Okay.
Okay.
And
I'm
just
gonna
when you
say,
click the box that the other options opened. Okay. I
yep,
didn't know how you
exactly.
got to the other options. Okay.
Yeah, it just
Thank you.
does it on its own. And I'm gonna say,
Okay.
okay, I want blue. And then you're like, okay, wait, but that check mark, which is now white. So I'm going to go up here to the white and say, nope, I want that to be dark blue. And then it automatically does that for you.
Great.
Okay. Now,
Great.
important to know, not every single element can you edit. So there will be some, for example, let's see, not everyone is editable.
Okay. That the check mark's probably the most likely anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But sometimes you'll find one that's like, you can't edit it. It's like a photo. Like, let's see. Yeah. So this one, for example, when I click on it, there's no colors that show up in the upper left-hand corner. So I cannot change that color.
Okay.
So if I'm selecting this, sorry, this is like this one, there's no color, but if I select the blue one we made, there is color. So that just shows you that this is when you can or cannot edit the color.
Okay.
So I'm going to get rid of that check mark because we don't need that one, because the one that I really like is this one right here. Okay. So
Yep.
all you have to do is right click, copy, and then paste. Okay. Now, this is the funny thing. Canva really wants you to use the shortcuts, and I don't know why. So I'm going to do Control C to copy, and I'm going to do Control V to paste. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's two little dials here that you can use. This one, if you just helps to kind of move it around. You can also select put your mouse over the element and move it around. This one is for rotating.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna take this check mark and just drag it over right here and say, okay, this project has been done. Now I don't like the size of that check mark. I actually want it to be smaller. So I'm just gonna grab one of the corners and make it smaller.
Great.
Okay. So you can go through and do that with any of these. You may decide that you just want to have no check marks and you're going to print it out and have it in your file and check mark as things go by, and then you could scan and send it to your client. So it's for example, like these check boxes here are intended for the seller to be checking off as they're doing stuff.
Right.
So totally up to you on how you want to manage that process, and I'll show you how to export it after. So a couple more things I just want to show. So Julie's version, she did a customization. So this is actually already filled out for her. But how would you do it if you were doing it on your own? So you're going to go to uploads, and you literally can take, let's take Julie and just drag it in to the space. Okay. So now we have Julie's headshot in there, which is great, except for it feels really small. So what I want to do is zoom in on her head more. So I'm going to go up to the left to edit photo. For some reason, there we go. And then I'm going to go to crop. Okay. And I'm just going to drag this and then move it down and be like, okay, that's better. Now we can see Julie. And then just click on the document itself. Okay.
And it
Sometimes
adjusts.
you may find, let's say, for example, that this line was, somehow going over your photo. So you can also plug and play with position, which means you're either, and this would be like when you were using Publisher, that you could, move it to the back or bring it front. So using that position, you could do the exact same thing.
Okay.
All right. And again, like these little icons, you can change the color. So you want to go with like a darker blue, you could do that as well.
Nice.
Okay. Does that make sense on how to customize this?
Yes.
Okay, great. So now you're ready to save it. So this is the thing that I find is a little challenging with Canva, is how do you save it in a place that you can go back and find it, because Canva will say, they say that you're saving, auto saves all of your designs, but I find that it's actually sometimes hard to find once you want to go back and use it. So what I would do, every action that you want to do. So like, let's say, you can click here and do file and save, but I'll have to be honest, like it's been challenging to figure out where it's at. So what you really want to do is make sure you're saving it to a folder. Okay. So you're going to go to
Okay.
file, save to folder. Okay. And let's say you want to create a new file. Okay. So I'm going to call this testing, just because that's what it's going to be. Okay. So now it's been added to testing. So now you can go to the folder and see where it is there. So what I would do, for example, on my end, when I'm organizing for my clients, I will say, I'll create folders for each client. So in your situation, Julie, when Jody is going to fill in that form, if she wants to keep filling it in Canva and then sending it to the client once a week, then I would create folders for each of your clients. So you could do sellers and then do a sub one from there of, the client name or whatever. So that's a great way to kind of keep it organized to find it. Does that make sense?
Yes, and then you can turn around after you've saved it, save it as a PDF to send to your client.
Yeah, so I'll show you how to do that. So you have your document here in Canva, and now you either want to print it or you want to send it to a client or whatever you might want to do. So you're always going to go to share. Okay. Now the one thing I would do on this one is I would rename it. So let's just say this is the Smith transaction summary. Okay, so now it's named as that. And you're going to go to share. So there's a couple things that you can do here. One is download. Now you can choose what format you want to download it in. So for example, I would just do PDF standard here. You can do PDF print, but what it means is it's a higher quality PDF, which can be sometimes harder to email to a client. You want it to be just a standard PDF, not a high res, because the size of the file will make it challenging to send. So you're just going to do PDF standard, okay? And you click download. And so now it's downloading to your computer.
To my computer, not to Canva.
Correct. So now I'm going to select it. Sorry, the computer's moving a little slow. So now it's just a standard PDF. Okay.
Nice. Okay.
And then you can send that however you'd like. If for some reason, let's say you were working on not like a transaction summary, but you were creating like, I don't know, photos or something, and you wanted to download those. For example, social media. When I'm creating social media posts, I'll usually do JPEG. Okay. And then you can play with the size. So I usually stick to about an 80 quality. Sometimes I want a really large file because I want the quality of the photo to be really good because I want it to be crisp and clear on Instagram. Okay. So then from there, I can download it and it automatically downloads it as a JPEG. Which JPEG meaning that it's more like a photo file as opposed to like a PDF file.
And I lost where the 84 in the 80s, that was size?
Yeah, exactly. So you go to share and then you go to download and then you can, let's say you want JPEG. Then you can make it a larger
quality.
size.
Oh, quality was.
Yeah.
80s.
I usually keep it at 80, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
So then it's downloaded to files here, and then I'm just gonna do this. Because of the Zoom screen, I can't see my the bottom there. So do you see how it downloaded as a JPEG there?
Yes. Yeah. No, that's easy. That makes sense.
Yeah. So you could do that if you wanted to, but I would just do a PDF.
Yeah.
Okay. So then what you want to do is let's go to here. Okay. So let's say you've done this and now you're like, okay, Jody's out of the office and I cannot find where this transaction summary is that I need to do for, that I need to find. So I'm going to go to all projects. And then I'm going to click on folders. And then I'm going to see the testing one.
Yes.
So, and then you have the Smith transaction summary. So you can go in and edit it yourself. So the
Okay.
big thing is to kind of set up your folders as you're starting to use Canva. It's very much, it's like you've taken File Explorer and Publisher and Canva, put it all together. So it's very logical once you get the hang of it.
Okay.
So that would be the same for both the home seller transaction summary and the buyer transaction summary to fill that out.
That looks pretty good.
Any other questions?
No, not, I mean, I'm still having trouble just getting it to what you're showing here, but that may be a Canva direct question.
Right. Okay. I'm going to stop recording here. And then